The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. It's 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
And we begin this morning with a controversial policy in which schools must out transgender students to their parents. It was first adopted by the Chino Valley Unified School District back in July and has been proposed by educators here in Kern County. However, Chino Valley is now in the middle of a lawsuit headed by California Attorney General Rob Bonta. He says that policy is in violation of state law. Here's 17's Jenny Ha with more.
This policy is destructive, it's discriminatory, and it's downright dangerous. It has no place in California.
This was California Attorney General Rob Bonta in late August, announcing his lawsuit against the Chino Valley Unified School District for its mandatory gender identity disclosure policy. In the first hearing for the lawsuit Wednesday morning, a judge issued a temporary restraining order on the district's policy.
The judge said it all today in court. He said that he expressed his concern that these children are in harm's way because of this policy.
In an interview with 17 News, the Attorney General made clear the policy itself functions like discrimination and bullying on the basis of gender, gender identity, and gender expression, which is illegal in the state.
This policy is remarkable in that it manages to violate two sections of the Constitution and two separate codes of California code, both government code and education code.
Questions remain on the legality of it all. According to Bonta, the policy violates California's Equal Protection Clause, constitutional right to privacy, as well as the education and government codes, which prohibit discrimination in educational settings or anything funded by the state.
This is a policy that explicitly targets transgender and gender nonconforming students, and it makes their personal business no longer their own to control, unlike all other students' personal business that they might choose to discuss at school.
Sonia Shaw, the newly elected president of Chino Valley's Board of Education, tells 17 News parents were excited to be kept in the loop about their children.
Parental notification policy shouldn't even be a thing. It should be, we are notified no matter what. If my daughter, does anything that is concerning or actually even good and she gets an award, guess who they notify? The parent. But why are they so adamant on certain issues that they don't want us to be notified on?
And as efforts to pass a parental notification policy continue in some California school districts, like here in Kern, through the County Board of Education, Bonta is issuing a warning.
So if they want to violate the law and do everything in their power to hurt children, that's on them. But we will be there to stop them, to protect children, to enforce the law, to make sure that the civil rights and constitutional rights of Californians are protected.
Jenny Ha, 17 News.
Now, a more extensive hearing is set for next month. Meantime, Sonia Shaw says the school district will comply with the temporary restraining order, but they're hoping the lawsuit makes it out of California to the federal courts.
In your 17 News follow-up file, we're learning more this morning about that 3-alarm fire at a storage facility in McFarland that we told you about yesterday. Check it out again. You can see just how massive and intense these flames were. This was at the Sunview Cold Storage Facility on Peterson Road. Crews say the fire started in some packing materials in an outside storage area Tuesday night and rapidly spread, lasting for hours. There was no one inside the building at the time of the blaze. Investigators say about $2 million worth of property was destroyed.
Travis Leake, the Bakersfield musician detained in Russia, had a court hearing in Moscow this week. His mother tells 17 News his pretrial detention was extended to November. At a news briefing in Washington, State Department officials did not directly address reports about Leake claiming he was not being adequately fed. But State Department officials did say they are still trying to get in contact with Leake, who has lived in Russia for about a decade. Leake, who has been detained since June, is being accused of organizing a drug trafficking business. He faces 10 to 20 years in prison if convicted.
Crime Watch this morning, burglary tools and $17,000 worth of cigarettes were confiscated after a highway chase that crossed over multiple city lines into Kern County. CHP officers say they tried to stop an SUV near Mojave after clocking it at more than 100 miles per hour. It was headed west on Highway 58. Officers were finally able to disable the SUV in East Bakersfield. They arrested a man and woman and say they found a bunch of stolen cigarettes worth about $17,000, as well as burglary tools. An investigation's ongoing. Secretary of State Antony Blinken continues his visit in Ukraine today. Blinken is the first top U.S. official to visit Kyiv since the counteroffensive began in early June. During his visit, Blinken announced a new package of U.S. wartime assistance worth more than $1 billion. Ukraine has retaken more than a dozen villages and small settlements in its offensive, but its push into Russian-held territory has been slowed by minefields and trenches. The new U.S. aid would include missile launch systems, new tanks, and other weapons systems.
In your 17 Health Watch, and the FDA says it plans to approve updated versions of the COVID-19 booster shot as early as tomorrow. The latest booster is designed to target the Omicron subvariant, but experts say it should still provide protection against current circulating subvariants, which are closely related. However, some doctors worry that the federal agencies are not acting quickly enough to combat the spread of the virus. COVID-related hospitalizations and deaths continue to rise, and wastewater samples are also showing an increase in virus detections.
The city of Bakersfield's low-cost drive-through dog vaccination clinics are returning to local parks. The first one is happening this Saturday at Beach Park from 9 a.m. to noon. It includes vaccine updates and free microchipping. There will be more clinics in October and November. Visit bakersfieldcity.us to get a full list of dates, prices, and vaccines. 17 News is your local election headquarters. Local educator Marisa Wood announces she'll again challenge House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in the race for California's 20th congressional district. Wood is a public school teacher, mom, and grandmother. She says she plans to bring positive changes to her district. Her goals for the area focus on several issues, from health care to economic opportunities. Wood says fostering a community where every voice is heard is vital, and she intends to listen to the community about their concerns and aspirations. Wood ran against McCarthy in 2022. He won re-election easily with 67% of the vote.
There's been 3 years since the local Amazon Fulfillment Center opened its doors to Kern County to distribute packages to local residents.
17's Leah Fitzgerald joins us in studio this morning with more on how Amazon went a step further to help contribute locally.
That's right, you guys. Amazon BFL1 is a big contributor for jobs in Kern County. It's also one of the biggest contributors to local students, showing that their hard work learning in science, technology, engineering, and math courses will eventually pay off. Robots working alongside workers, not to replace their jobs but to make their lives easier, is the forefront of how Amazon BFL1 runs. A little over 3 years ago, this operation was only a dream. Today, with many job opportunities and 70,000 sorted packages a day, that dream is a reality.
We're so grateful for the jobs that Amazon has brought to Kern County and to Bakersfield. We know the importance of jobs, and certainly Amazon has provided those jobs with great benefits. Additionally, we're so grateful that Amazon has invested in our community in partnering with so many community groups and giving back.
On Wednesday, Amazon donated $30,000 to Bakersfield's Career and Technical Education Center, otherwise known as CTech, a local program that teaches students how to use industry-grade robotics as well as the coding to operate these electronics. From the warehouse to the delivery van to your door, there's an extensive process that goes beyond clicking add to cart that takes serious technological knowledge. Knowledge that's now right in our backyard. Now, we are very lucky to have that tech right in our backyard indeed. KGET got to tour Amazon's BFL1, and several CTech instructors informed me that there are learning industry standards that are very similar to what Amazon had directly within the classroom, in attempts of having students have a large background of knowledge upon graduating and entering the tech force. In studio, Aaliyah Fitzgerald, 17 News.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.